Hey everybody, good to see you here. I thought I'd just mix it up like I always do. And yeah, with my wonderful technical difficulties, this is how I got to do it. So this is how I'm doing it, okay? I always figure out a way. So, all right, so let me just talk about a couple of differences to the Ask Amy, which is the Q&A that you are watching right now. Not anything major whatsoever. Just wanted to explain a couple of things because someone was confused that's new. So if you want to order a question, if you want to have a question answered on one of these Q&As, they happen on Thursdays. The premiere comes out on Thursday, meaning that it's pre-recorded. And you submit your question at Amy Satori. Where do I go? Go to amysatori.com and click on Ask Amy, or put in amysatori.com/Ask Amy. Either way, you'll get there. And I have simplified the instructions, made it more simple, broken it down. And now we're going to use, instead of initials, we're going to use order numbers. So, yeah. So basically there's also a love signs or love phrase, true love signs, something like that. That's in, I just thought I'd throw that out there because it was kind of a fun idea that I got from watching Amelia's Tarot, where she was just kind of randomly picking out these little pieces of paper with little signals and signs for true love. Never mind how I got the idea. I got the idea to put in, since you guys are submitting the questions anyway, and a lot of you do have true love counterparts, I thought it would be a cool thing to also come up with my own little drawing, to where you guys, when you're as long as you're submitting a question, then you may as well just also submit like a true love sign. So if you're in love with somebody and you guys met at McDonald's or something, you could put in McDonald's. Or if you guys have a certain love sign, you could put in that love sign, like a symbol or a location or like something that's dear to you guys, or anything like that. But it's got to be like a short phrase, because there's not very much room to put it in, and because I want to be able to have it simple and small so that it can be cut up and put in a little bowl to be mixed up and pulled from. So I'm also trying to keep the ones that I've already done out of the mix and pull new ones. So that way everybody gets a little wink. You don't get the same person getting the same wink all the time. Anyway, so there's that. And I have a Divine Masculine report that I put out once a month now. And so that's when I go through all of the true love signs. I accumulate them in a different file. And then when it comes time to do my masculine report, then I just pull a few signs out of the hat or out of the bowl, and I give you guys kind of a little mini reading on it. So, and that comes out once a month. Oh, what was the other thing? I guess that's it. So you just go to Ask Amy and go to amysatori.com/Ask Amy. Submit your question. Take a look at the dates on when it's going to come out, because it'll say if you submit a question right now, it's going to come out on this date. So it'll let you know. So always check that date so that you're not, and I record these on usually Sunday mornings, U.S. time. Some of you guys are in other countries and you talk to me in your terms like, oh, it was Saturday. No, it was Sunday for the U.S. So keep that in mind that we could be in different countries. So Sunday morning for me, my time in the U.S., is usually when I shoot the Q&As. Not always, but so if you want your question to get in on that Thursday, try to get it to me by Saturday night. So you've got basically every week between Thursday and Saturday to get me your question if you want it in for the next week. If you send it on Sunday, it may not make it in. It could maybe but probably, it's not likely you're going to make it in. And definitely not Monday. So just keep that in mind, that that's kind of the way that it works. If you want to trick the system, then get in before Sunday, and you're guaranteed to get in by Thursday, the next Thursday. But either way, when you look at my webpage and you go to order, you are told exactly what date it's going to come out on, or that week, or some, what you know what I mean? Because last week was wonky. I ended up doing 2 different videos because 3 people slipped in, and anyway, that's a long story. I don't want to confuse you guys. So, all right. So we're going to start with 3608. So 3608. I have had respiratory challenges most of my life, and it seems more so in my late 50s. My adrenals have been affected by the medication I have had to take. Could you do a healing on me, and are there any emotional root causes for my health challenges? Is there a reason I haven't found a true love? Is it related to my health challenge? Okay, so we're going to take a look at this respiratory health challenge. Yeah, let's take a look at this. Also, just to explain a little bit about healing, there's always an emotional element to whatever the ailment is, always. In fact, I was going to mention, when I talked about the daily boost, a lot of times I'm dealing with emotional issues that are going on within families and all that kind of things. I'm aiding in those areas, but it's also because dealing with the emotional things that are going on and aiding in those things is actually helping physical ailments as well. So it's like all encompassing. When you do the daily boost, you're getting the emotional elements and the physical ailments that are being, aided with my energy. Okay, so adrenals, respiratory. Okay, hama natin sa sishela omaan. Tehe ilakiens. What they're showing me is that you've got like white on the upper part of you and not. Okay, so when I describe things, just know that I'm going to work on it and it's going to be gone by the time I'm done working on you. Some of you guys really cling to the ideas that I say, the things that I describe, and you think they're still there afterwards. This is how the human mind is geared, to just grasp onto things and hang on to it. So don't do that. Whatever I'm describing right now, it's merely for entertainment purposes, okay? Because it's going to be gone by the time I'm done with you, okay? So what I'm seeing, just to describe, is it looks white here and it looks black in your intestines. So I'm feeling like it's a gut issue, and I just got a yes. So, and then they don't like your spirit guides and mine all work together during these readings, and they're saying that they don't like the medications. Like if there is a way that you can take a natural product to replace the medications, that would be awesome, because it feels like the medications have kind of become like plaque on your intestines. It's almost like you need a colon cleanse, or maybe some colonics or that type of thing to really clean out your system. I just got a big yes. Like you'd feel a difference if you did colonics for like quite a while to flush it all out. Okay, so all right, the energy is already balancing out. It's already blending better. So, and it's becoming more gray, which means that if you follow my advice, there's going to be a difference. Now, if you don't follow my advice, then it's all for naught. You guys should know that too. So the advice that I give you, Spirit is showing me the results of you following that advice. And they're not going to give you advice that they don't think you're capable of doing, okay? So they're not going to say, go do Byron Katie's work, and full well knowing that you can't do it or that you won't do it. They're not going to recommend it unless they know that it would be beneficial to you if you did it. And they know that you would do it. So now with a lot of these things that are beneficial to you, you guys should know that your ego will work against you. It will come up with every excuse in the book not to write it down, which is so important that you write it down. Any kind of like, well, Byron Katie especially, Byron Katie's self-inquiry work. Very important that you write it down. So don't get lazy. Also, thank you God for my misery. Don't simplify that either. That's the ego too. The ego will go, oh, well, I'm just going to be grateful for things in general. That's just, I'm just grateful for things. It's not the same thing at all, you guys. I'm talking about when you find, so many of you report to me, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I finally listened and I did your thank you God for my misery exercise because I made all these incredible breakthroughs. I had to go get a pad of paper to write down all the epiphanies I was having. It was so amazing. I got all these downloads and all these wonderful ideas. Well, that's exactly why I tell you to write it down, because that's when the epiphanies and everything occur. It makes you reach for answers that you wouldn't have normally thought of before, kind of thing. So follow the instructions that I give you, and you will have the results that I am seeing, okay? And I just saw an orange. Is it vitamin C that you're talking about? You need more vitamin C. I just saw calcium, vitamin C and calcium, but natural, not, and that doesn't mean natural doesn't mean supplements necessarily. It means like, well, green beans have a lot of vitamin C. I don't know what has natural calcium. Maybe you guys can comment about that. I don't know. Or you could go to a health food store, but I know there's a lot of fake calcium out there, really bad calcium. You know who's kind of a trusted source is Eric Berg, Dr. Eric Berg on YouTube. So you may put in his name and put in the word calcium and see what he recommends for calcium, because he seems like a really stand-up kind of guy. Okay, so Hapama Anate and Sase. Now, know that I am obviously not a doctor. I don't even know about the body or anything. So the things that I am describing are very, so it can be kind of cryptic, but so you can try and figure it out. Try and figure it out. But the spirit has its way of creating like shortcuts. It'll tell you like, instead of like, if you talk to a naturopath or a doctor, they would go on and on and on with all their knowledge and all this stuff for like a long time, when all you really need to do is like increase your green beans for now, and it'll start getting better. Or you know what I mean? Or go get a BioShield from antiagingbed.com, and it'll, they're gonna, anyway. So spirit has a way of giving you like a shortcut when it talks through me. It'll say, do this, and so do that and see what happens. Whatever comes out of my mouth, I'm channeling, and so follow that guidance. Also, gosh, I wanted to mention too, you guys are so funny because I'll do a reading for you and I'll say, like, there's a specific example, and she's going to laugh if she hears this, but it's so funny because she's like, she wanted to adopt a dog and she just absolutely loved this dog. And she was just like, I just feel such a connection to the dog. So I'm like, well, that dog is definitely meant for you. Like, you're going to be together. And, that's, we went through quite a few readings actually that kind of came to this point of us knowing that this is her dog and she's supposed to have this dog. But I warned her and I told her, you are, there's going to be a little hiccup that you're going to have to get around. She's probably going to tell you that you can't have that dog. And I don't know what the reason is going to be, but she's going to tell you can't have the dog. And so you need to then respond to her and just let her know just how much you love that dog. And that's going to convince her that you're the person for the dog. So what does she do? The minute she gets rejected and the person says, no, you can't have the dog, she freaks out and she's like, Amy, you were wrong. It didn't happen like you said. It didn't happen. The woman, she told me I can't have the dog. And I was like, wait, I spelled it out for her exactly how it was going to happen. And I included in there that she would get rejected. So what is she talking about? So then I reminded her, I think you need to listen to that reading again, because I say that there's going to be a hiccup. I specifically said that, and I even told you how to respond. So please don't bug me, guys, if something seems to have gone off rail or something. I mean, you know, listen to the recording again, if anything. Listen to the recording and be like, does she mention this? And even if there is a hiccup, God or spirit is telling you what they're telling you for a reason. Understand that. If they say you're going to win the court battle, for example, you're going to win the court battle. You have to have faith in these things. You have to understand that spirit has a really, really wonky way of bringing things about. And you can't just pick apart every little thing. We're so fearful that if it looks like the slightest thing has gone wrong, we have a meltdown. We got to work on that. That needs healing, you guys, because we can't go around in life anymore freaking out about every little tiny thing and letting us get us all wonky. Just have faith in the end result that I'm predicting and what I'm saying. And even some of you who, with the world truth stuff, the great awakenings, and when I've predicted things that are going to happen in the world, when a group of people are just leaning in, anticipating it, and waiting around, it pushes the energy out. And there are a lot of different timelines shifting right now, and there's a lot moving around. But whatever somebody good and accurate like I am, whatever it is that I say is the end result, or whatever's going to happen is going to happen. It may not happen when I say that it's going to happen, but it's the energy of what I'm predicting is going to happen, if that makes sense. That's the one not the timelines. The timelines are not important because, like I said, time is malleable and so many different factors weigh in. There's your manifesting, and then there's the collective manifesting, which you have no control of, and it can change all the time. Timelines, don't get on any kind of a psychic or anything for the timeline not working out, okay? Just get over that, because for one, we're coming into a time when we're more present anyway. We forget about the past and forget about the future. We're manifesting from right now, and we're living in right now. So just know that you've won. Know that your true love has come. Know that that you've gotten through this. If that's what I've said in a reading, then you have to believe it, not doubt it. The whole thing about manifesting something that you want is that you know that it's coming and you forget about it. You just know that it is. It's like, I'm not going to worry how it comes. I don't like worrying about it, so I'm not going to worry about it, because worrying about it puts me in a bad vibration. So I'm just going to know that it all works out, and I'm just going to walk around as if it's going to work out, and it's going to feel great. Just get in the flow of your life and how it operates, and just even keep saying, thank you, God, so much. I'm so appreciative that whole thing worked out. So you pray as if it's already happened. So what would you be saying to yourself if you found out you won the court case? Well, you'd be celebrating, excited. You'd be so relieved, right? So act that way right now. Thank you, God, so much. Oh my gosh, I'm so relieved. I ordered something from that anti-aging bed company that I talk about all the time. And they're known for, and they when I've ordered things before from them, they took like 2-3 months to get here. So I was like, oh Lord, I got to expedite this. So I just kept saying, thank you, God, so much that my products came before my birthday. Thank you, God, so much that I'm so happy to have them. And I'm so excited they got here so quickly. And I got them within like 3 weeks. I couldn't believe it. So, I could believe it, but you know what I'm saying. It's a phrase. It's a saying. So, that's how you use manifesting. You manifest what it is that you already appreciate, and you act as if it's here already. Hang on. Hapamanata sasa eshan. Hapamaan. Okay, so we've already mentioned a number of different solutions, even though it's kind of sporadic throughout all the other stuff I was talking about. But they're also saying that one thing that could, well, actually, they're saying two things would help. Two products that you could get from antiagingbed.com One of them is the mattress cover. That could definitely expedite your healing. They also have these healing discs. Those get a little bit expensive, but those would definitely help. Um, and some kind of a sauce they have. I don't know why they call them sauces. It's kind of weird, but they're oils. They're little oils that have different things. Which one would be good for her? C60. Yeah, C60 would be a good one. Where does she put it? All over her tummy. Yep. Yep, they're just like, yeah, that would really do the trick. So, depending on how much money you have, I would try to get the mattress pad cover and the C60 sauce. If you can't get any of that, should she just go with the C60 or the mattress pad? Try to get the mattress pad more than or any of the bio shields, because they all kind of do the same thing. So if you really can't afford very much, I would go for like a bio shield, like an office bio shield or something like that, and then you could lay it on your bed when you're sleeping at night. Okay, are we done? Yes, complete, they said. Okay. So, wait, we didn't address any emotional issues. Does she need to know about any emotional issues? I'm not taken, so say. They're saying that it's actually having to do with you taking control of your mind. That there have been things in life that are really hard for you to digest, but it's only because of the way that you're looking at them. So the more you have a positive attitude and look at things in a positive light, the easier your system is going to kind of ride the waves of some of the rough spots or rough patches in life. Oh, thank you. They said to do the thank you God for my misery exercise that I already talked about. So it's coincidence that I happen to talk about that, right? It probably means that everything I talked about in your reading does apply actually to you too, even though I was talking to everybody about these types of things in general. So, yeah, the thank you God for my misery will take you through all the different things in your past. I would do it on your past. Write down all the different things that you feel kind of victimized by or you feel like are not fair that's happened in your life that have happened. So, and write them on a separate piece of paper. Like, I didn't get that job that I wanted. I lost that thing. I, took a left turn when should have taken a right, or, I got in that car accident or whatever. Just list all these different things on a piece of paper, and then go do the thank you God for my misery, which you can find here on YouTube. Go do that exercise on each and every one of those things. It could take, 30, 45 minutes, but it'll be worth it. Trust me. It'll be awesome. Okay. All right, 3614. 3614. Hello, Amy. What incredible gifts you have. Thank you. I'm going through a much needed divorce and have a much needed divorce and have been truly transitioning and exploring my spiritual side. Awesome these last few years. One of my daughters and I plan to purchase an RV and travel the U.S. searching for our future home. What a fun thing. Hoping for the earth to lead us where we need to be. My question is, how long do you think this process for us will last? And will we be successful in finding our future home? Oh, okay. And where is a part of the community where we can grow and develop? Okay. My question, how long is the process and will we be successful in finding our future home work and can be a part of a community where we can grow and develop? Okay, I'm just going to feel into you finding your future home. Because that's like, I don't know, a bunch of questions in one. So I'm just going to feel into your future home and this whole trek you're going on, which I think is awesome. Okay. They're clapping about the divorce first and foremost. They're saying everybody who's getting rid of somebody toxic, they're saying narcissist. Okay, so bringing up another subject. So anyone who makes you doubt yourself or manipulates other people against you or to question you, or anyone who like just plays games with your head and makes you wonder what's going on, and you're constantly having to question and that type of thing, those people need to be out of your life. So love yourself enough to not confuse yourself. And especially if they seem like addicted to drama, if they're always looking for drama, something's always got to be happening. Or if, what's another? Gosh, there's so many things. Look up a narcissist and look on YouTube and look up the word narcissist and look up the word gaslighting. Because in our world in general, in our government, and everywhere, we're gonna need to spot those people pretty quick as we possibly can. You guys know that you've been in these types of relationships before, like a romantic relationship, but sometimes you find a friend that starts behaving in kind of an underhanded way, or they seem to be really manipulating things, or they seem to be like making jabs, but you're not quite sure. And it's like, was that a passive aggressive thing, or was it, if you're having to second guess the person, then, or if they won't be vulnerable with you, also if they won't tell you about their fears and insecurities and kind of lean on you a little bit and kind of be like, everyone needs to be vulnerable in a relationship. Both people need to be equally vulnerable. You can't be the one who's spilling all of your secrets and telling all of your tender things to this person, and the person, all they're doing is, unless they're a professional, all they're doing is all the soothing. They have to be also vulnerable. They have to also be offering up stuff that they're scared of or insecure about, or that kind of thing. There's got to be equal give and take. So they're saying congratulations for walking away from the narcissist. And when you walk away from somebody like that, your head starts working straight again. You start feeling more clear again. You feel relieved. Oh my gosh, the drama's gone. It feels so good. And then you have to check your own drama. Okay, where's the drama in my own life, and how do I get back to peace? Because we always want to try and get back to a more peaceful, loving space inside our hearts. Always keep coming back to that. And I'm not talking about with your words. A lot of people are really good at saying just the right thing, that make you want to trust them. Oh, they're always talking about this fluffy spiritual stuff and all this love, 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 love. But when you watch their life and when you see the way that they talk to other people or their children or pets or things like that, they're kind of vicious. And don't ignore that. Don't make excuses for the narcissist. That's one thing we tend to do too, because we're kind-hearted. We're like, we want to give them the benefit of the doubt, but don't do that, because you're gonna sacrifice yourself and your own sanity, in your own safety, your own peace, by doing that. For whatever reason, there's something you're getting out of it. Like maybe you love the person's sense of humor, or maybe you love the sex, or maybe you love whatever it is. Like you can get it elsewhere with somebody who treats you, respectfully, and somebody who understands and gets you, and somebody who will explore and grow with you. There should always be exploring and growth as well. You guys should be willing to talk about any kind of misunderstanding between you. Both of you should be equally giving and taking and sharing information and growing from it, saying, oh, wow, I had an epiphany. That's great. Well, what do you think of this? And bouncing back and forth with each other, both striving to eliminate the ego and grow from an authentic standpoint and a vulnerable standpoint. If you don't have that going on, that's not somebody you can trust. So even if you're all alone, at least you're alone with your sanity and your peace, and it's easier to enlighten when you're alone too. So, I would rather have that peace and be all alone on a mountaintop than to have the chaos and the drama and somebody trying to play with my head personally. So love yourself enough to not need other people. And here's another thing too. The one thing that I learned from Byron Katie's work is that every time that there's a problem now, I go to paper with it. Not every single time, but like if you can train yourself to do it every single time, which I do a lot. But I just happen to have a really good friend that I can bounce things off of. That's kind of cool too. She helps me have breakthroughs, and we do that for each other. So But it's really cool. But I don't need her at all. And I don't feel like I have to have her to talk to at all whatsoever. So there's no neediness to it. There's no codependence. It's a really healthy thing. So it's cool if you have a friend like that you can bounce things off of. But always make sure that it's not above you being able to do it yourself. So, and I mean, gosh, that goes for being able to fix things in your house and all kinds of things. I mean, I'll get there in a minute, but Byron Katie enables you to sit down with a pad of paper. You don't need a counselor. You don't need a friend. You don't need anybody, but you work it out on paper and you gain the clarity that you need and the support you need from doing it yourself. So, I don't know about you guys, but I've also been experiencing like some, like going through experiences of the past, and I now get it. I now understand. So I've been working on things myself, like doing things that I would normally have a man do if I was in a relationship with someone, that I would ask him to put this up, or to, use an anchor with a hook, or to, things like that, where I'm just kind of clueless. I would or assembling something that comes in a box that looks pretty complicated. I would have in the past usually asked a guy to do it, whoever I was going out with or whatever, and they would be glad to assist. However, being on this side of it, being the one who's doing it, is a whole other thing. And you realize just how complicated doing some of these things is and how much you really have to concentrate. So it gave me an appreciation, because sometimes I've had guys that were working on things and I was just distracting them with my yabbering. Like, and then if they didn't give me attention while they were working on the project, I would get upset. I'd just be like, and they'd be like, "Can you be quiet? I'm trying to concentrate." And I would get offended by that. That was back in my more immature days. But still, I was able to see that now that I did it myself. I actually had a friend listening to me in the background, and she was doing the thing that I usually had done to guys. I was like, this is really like irking me. Like, shush for a minute. I have to concentrate. And then the universe has its way of putting you in those positions so you understand what the other person went through, right? That's what this whole universe is about, is dropping judgment. And if you do have judgment about anybody, believe me, it's going to come around full circle to where you are put in their shoes, and you will have to understand eventually what you did to that other person, and vice versa. That's why it's best not to judge also, okay? So I wanted to also mention that, because you guys out there in relationships, one thing that you can do is you can ask your girlfriend, I want you to put the next project together, because I want you to feel capable and I want you to know that you can do it. I will watch you and I will give you advice, but I'm not going to give you the fish. I'm going to teach you how to fish. Okay? I'm not talking about fishing specifically, just whatever. So that they can understand and not have hurt feelings when they can see how irritating it is to have somebody talking when you're trying to get something done you have to concentrate on. You know what I'm saying? So if you feel like there's an area of your life where your girlfriend just isn't getting it, it just doesn't, they're just like, taking things personal or whatever, and when you're like, dang, if you just knew how hard this was, just have her do it. Teach her how to do it and show her. That's just an idea that popped in my head through these projects that I've been doing. So, back to you in this trip. I say, yes, you are going to find the perfect place. I just had a place pop in my head, but I don't want to tell you because I don't want to influence you at all. I want this to be a nice unraveling for you, and for you to, discover it for yourself with your daughter. So, and you didn't ask me either what this place was. You just said, will I find it? So absolutely, yes, you will. I think it's going to be wonderful for you and your daughter. They said, don't talk too much. Listen to your daughter. Do a lot of listening. Really kind of master your listening skills. Meaning that when you're listening to her, really strive to understand her rather than thinking about what you're going to say back to whatever she's saying. Like, truly listen and truly feel what it is she's feeling and listening saying, and then try to also validate her feelings. I understand why you would have those feelings, even if they're about you. Like, try to take yourself out of it and just try to understand why she would have those feelings. Don't make it about you, and don't get defensive. Just, it feels like this trip is kind of about that, kind of about you learning to be the best listener you can. Because I feel like you're going to use those listening skills going forward in some way. They just said a job, maybe a job that you're going to be doing. And that doesn't mean you're going to get paid necessarily. And I don't know why I specified that. It could be a volunteer job, for example, or a passion project or humanitarian project or whatever. But whatever this job is, you're going to have to be a really good listener. And I was just talking about yammering on work projects, right? See, it all ties together, you guys. There's no such thing when you're channeling, there's no babbling. It's all supposed to be said, and it's all really important too. So, and sometimes you have to hear it 10 times in order for you to really have it, like for it to really sink in subconsciously. And then all of a sudden you have an epiphany one day and go, oh my gosh, now I get it. Okay, I'm seeing sparkle, so I feel like fairies are going to be there with you guys, helping you kind of tap into your childlike nature. It's going to be really fun. Anything else they need to do? Passage or portal. If any of you watching have been went through a shift like I did. Remember that timeline shift video? I said that my higher self was a walk-in for myself. I don't know how all that stuff happens. That stuff can be kind of over my head. In terms of I hear some people talk and it's just I'm just like, are you kidding me? I don't know. How does anybody understand that? Sometimes I feel like it could be some people's ego just trying to sound really important. Like, I know things you don't know, and I'm using these fancy terms. But I do know that there was a 3-day period in there where there was some kind of a portal that opened up, and it brought a rush of really wonderful, incredible energy through. So that would make sense as to, it feeling like a walk-in or something like that. And remember my taste change and I always take baths, and all of a sudden it didn't appeal to me to take baths anymore for a little bit. Like a bunch of different things kind of change. So the first thing you think of is some kind of a walk-in or something, which could be true. But it was just kind of funny that the walk-in would be my higher self. So I feel like I integrated my higher self a bit more. And maybe my tastes are becoming truer. They're becoming more authentic to who I truly am. Maybe the baths were a coping mechanism, for example, or maybe some of the habits that I had before were due to habit, and not actual authentic. Sometimes when we need salt, we eat a lot of salty foods. But when we're balanced, we don't need the salty food anymore, for example. So integrating more of my higher self, I could see where it would also change some of those characteristics. So if any of you went through that around the same time, like in those a 3-day portal period, where all a bunch more, of the light came down to aid us at this time of ascension, maybe that explains things for you as well. So we'll see if that rings a bell for some of you. Okay, so now I'm feeling like pulling some spirit cards for you real quick about your trip. I have a big old microphone in the way, so I have to move around it. You need to ask your body what it wants. Isn't that funny? Because I just said that. So I have a feeling that 3-day portal actually pertained to you and or your daughter as well. So ask your body what it wants all the time. Does this sound good to you? Does that sound good to you? What do you need right now? Do you need some more water? Do you need some of this? Or be in touch with even the things that you, your supplements and things. Ask yourself, or ask your spirit, ask your higher self. Should I take some of this right now? Yes or no? Yes? Okay. So how many should I take then? Okay, great. And just live your day like that. Does this sound good for dinner? Okay. And just get your yes and your no down. Now pendulums, I don't know. For some reason I can't use pendulums. They'll just tell me what I want to know. They'll always tell me what I want to know. So I don't like to be just told what I want to hear all the time. And no matter what kind of pendulum or what kind of process I go through, I can't seem to get them to be unbiased, so I don't use them. Just food for thought. Learning how to self-soothe is a mandatory step to liberation and loving others in a healthy way. Rely only on yourself. How funny. I just talked about that, right? Okay. There's a reason for everything. Whoever or whatever you've been thinking of, you should take action. So they're saying definitely do it. You're getting squeezed out of your comfort zone to spread your wings and fly. So throw your inhibitions out the window. You have nothing to fear but the thoughts you're entertaining. So everything will go very well. And just maybe learn the thank you God for my misery exercise so that when you're on your trip, if anything goes wrong, then you can do that exercise with it and not take it out on your daughter. You know, you can just, that's a cool thing about being able to do Byron Katie or something like that too. A written exercise is you end up not lashing out at the person that you're with. If you're really upset about something, you'll go take it to paper, and that way you sort it out and gain clarity and drop into your heart space when you go to have the conversation with the person. So it's always best, always best to go process it and write it down before discussing it with the person that you're upset with. Don't just let words fly out of your mouth to attack the other person when you're upset. Really take some time and process it through, and then respond instead of react. Okay. How you guys doing? You hanging in there? This is gonna be a long one, I can tell. Okay, 3621. I woke up over a year and a half ago, but I wonder if you've watched my video recently that talks about what waking up is, as opposed to like ascension and as opposed to like knowing what's going on in our world and that kind of thing. I break that down in a recent video if you look down in the timestamps. If there's been so many videos that I've been putting out lately and you're just like, I don't even know which ones to watch, just look down in the timestamps underneath the videos and see what I talk about in there and see if anything appeals to you. That'd be one way to do it. Okay. So I started to wake up a year and a half ago, but only recently started diving into spirituality and what exactly that meant to me. After listening to your videos as well as meeting with a new mentor of mine, I'm having many realizations. Awesome. In June of 2020, I graduated college and got a job for a company in Omaha, Nebraska. In July 2020, I moved down to Omaha from Minnesota and started a new life down there. Almost 2 years later, I do not like living in Nebraska. I feel very discontented to this place. I have zero desire to meet people and want only to keep to myself outside of hanging out with my coworkers occasionally. After some realizations, I found out in a previous life I had a traumatic experience there. Is this why I'm having such a hard time being there? I just got a yes. One of the reasons. Overall, I would really like to have a better understanding of why I moved here or my purpose for moving here. Was it for my career, people, healing, to remove distractions? Am I going to be here for a long time? When I met with my mentor, we thought it might be related to a specific coworker of mine, not romantic, I think. I know who my soulmate is, and he is in another country. But I feel like there is more to the story. I've also begun my crystalline transition since being here. How do you know that? Oh, your mentor probably told you that using fancy language. Overall, please explain this Nebraska situation to me. Okay. That's funny. Where do people get this knowledge? You know, I don't know, from other people that had spouted that knowledge off and stuff, and they just adopted it and felt into it and whatever. So that's just life. It's the flavor and the variety of life. Okay, let's take a look at Nebraska for you. I'm not natin kay ken sa na natin. Okay. tuning into this past life where something traumatic happened. I feel like before the trauma happened there, you considered Nebraska home. And you were attempting to go back home to heal it, and you've been avoiding it instead. How has she been avoiding it? Because you've made it all about work. But there's something like in the land there. There's something like they're saying like a hidden buried treasure or something. What? Yeah, there's something to be discovered there. Tuning the land. Tuning the land. Have you done any like vocal toning or something? Like I knew a lady once who would go to different geographical locations and she would just be like, oh, Mara. Like it do all this. And it would like tone the earth where she was. Um Everybody's got their thing. Everybody's got it. You know? So maybe you're going to be doing something like that. I mean, who knows if that resonates. Whatever this is, though, it feels like kind of a destiny thing, and I feel like it's outdoors. So I would get out in nature. I'm seeing like a field and trees. So you've probably already thought of visiting this place. You may have even been there, but maybe you got nervous and got back in your car and went back to your comfort zone. So what does she need to do? Oh, they're showing you just like laying on a blanket. This can be like later in the spring, but I see you laying on a blanket, kind of sprawling out like just kind of just sprawling out in all directions. You see my sweat? So just like sprawl out on the blanket. And just maybe imagine, yeah, imagine. Wait, let me see this for a minute. Whoa, that's kind of crazy. Whoa. It's like okay, it has to do with Native Americans. And it feels like there's some energy underneath the earth that needs to get released. But it's really weird because usually when you've got negative energy, you absorb it into the earth. You don't take it out of the earth. But what I'm seeing is actually kind of a reverse. Like they're wanting you to take all this black energy out of the earth as you're laying there, like you're pulling it up into you and through you, and you're like throwing it up off of your body with light. I- maybe your vehicle is designed different or something, or maybe you do something special. Maybe the beingness of who you are is able to transmute energy, something like a shock absorber or something. But it feels like, I'm going to do a blissing around this just to make sure you're protected, because it seems like if you don't know what you're doing, I could see how this, well, they're saying you're a natural, you were made for this. So it's not that it won't be hard for you, which is the case a lot. When the universe asks you to do something, your logical mind might say, I can't do that, but you go to do it. Now you're just like, oh, well, that was really easy. Okay, so I think if you just go lay on the ground and I'll still do a blessing for you, but if you go lay on the ground and sprawl your arms and your legs out, and it looks like you're all alone out there in nature, just laying there on a blanket, just imagine feeling into the energy underneath you in the earth, and see if there's just something that comes up for you that wants to do something with that energy. It does feel like you're going to be transmuting the negativity into that's been put in the earth, and you're going to be transforming it into light to go up into the heavens. I just, because I just asked myself, I don't know why, what this is about, but then I got ascension. So you're aiding in the ascension. So there's a very, very important reason that you're there. You will be drawn to this place, and I feel like it's not that far from you, maybe 10 miles or something, 10 miles, 10 minutes from where you live. So you ended up real close. And it's probably already come to mind. I just heard you say, I know just where it is. Okay, so go to that place and do that thing, and whatever it is, you'll be a natural at it. And I'm going to give you a blessing right now to just support you in that. Hama natein sa sishi ina po mahamaan. Hapa na taikein sa. Shame pepe na haiken. Ha laon po mamaan na taike. Oh wow, when you go to do this, like you're going to have all these angels surrounding you in a circle that are going to help support it so nothing can go wrong. Okay, is there any other reason that she's there in that state? There are a lot of reasons. Once you transmute this energy, you might actually feel better and you may feel more at home there. You might feel more rested. And yeah, I don't see you drawn anywhere else. If you feel inspired to go somewhere else, then that would be a different thing. That's life definitely pulling you into something. But I feel like you're going to feel better being there. And I feel like you might want to stay there after you do this. Is it just a one-time thing? Yeah. Yeah, something just needs to get here. You're there to heal the thing that's getting in the way of you feeling like home again in that place. She's at the right work. Yep. Right people she's interacting with and everything. Yep. Yep. Yeah. You're looking good. You're looking good in all these different areas. Something about confidence. Boost your confidence in your work, at your work. Like, I don't think you realize that you're actually quite good. So don't let your insecurities get in the way of you doing the great job that you do. Own it and be like, thank you, God, so much that I'm wonderful at what I do. You know, just affirm that and own it. Okay. Okay, 3622. Hi, Amy. Your hair looks awesome when curly. I love it. That's funny because it is curly today. It just happens to be. And I happen to be on camera today. That's really funny. You must have known. I think you're more intuitive than you know. Okay, so she has 3 questions. Number 1, I started moving on from my married DM. That's good. That's good. It's been hard, but he got me curious. With your recent text messages on Valentine's Day late night. All tyrants rule through fraud and force, but once the fraud is exposed, they must rely exclusively on force. How interesting. It felt as if he was trying to tell me something through a quote. Was it only about our current world situation or his home as well? Oh, wow. What was he trying to tell me? Wow, I posted that too. I posted that in my stories. How interesting. Okay, so it sounds like, yeah, okay. Happen. Yes, she's forcing. Let me see. Chun, chun, chun. I'm going to pick some tarot cards real quick and just see what's up with this. She's forcing him to stay together. See, I knew that was a bad idea for him to marry her. I knew they should have gotten an annulment. I don't know why he didn't do that when he admitted that he wanted to, that he knows that he should have married you. Like immediately he knew. Okay. And they all know. All of them, when they go to marry the wrong person, they think of you and they know, oh, look at that. Regret. Because he knows that you're his happy family and you're where he would be fulfilled. He wants to hold on to you and speak some truth and give you some clarity about the situation. So can you tell, and this is also, yes, it's true, she's forcing him. Can you tell me more about this forceful situation? He wants to apologize to you. It may have to do with making a judgment call about a child or something. So, wow, this is trippy. Okay. Okay, so yeah, you may want to make a judgment call to reach out to you and apologize. He feels foolish. He feels like a kid. Like he's like, I can't believe I got myself in this position. He's having to be kind of he's having to act emotionless to protect himself, but it's making him awaken to the real situation. Um, and I feel like he's embarrassed. That's what I feel. I feel he's embarrassed about the situation and doesn't want to tell you because he's now in a situation where he's getting bullied. I just gotta guess. So let's look at his divine masculine ghoster cards. I'm sorry, I really am. I hope you can forgive me. I just feel so bad. I know you are my true love, and I want to spend the rest of my life with you. I also know once I reach out, the ball is going to start rolling, so I just want to make sure I'm good and ready. So he wants to hold on to you, but he just knows that he has to do it at the right time. And he's got to somehow get around this person. I've been thinking of working with you on a passion project. Please come up with some ideas as well. So next we talk, we can share our ideas. It won't be far off from now. I hate myself right now. I can't very well accept your love when I can't love myself, but I'm working on it. So I think he's really angry that he's made this decision. Okay, so you are my angel, the guiding light in my ascension, the light at the end of this dark tunnel that I'm in. I'm like a moth to your flame, and I plan to run to you as soon as I can overcome this. I'm open to or planning on relocating to be closer to you. I'm open to compromising more than you may realize. Let's think outside the box and figure out a way. You're that important to me. See, he still wants to be with you. Will you marry me? I'm serious. Gosh. Now that you've let the marriage become official, dummy, I'm being held up in a prison of some sort. Duh. It's called a karmic prison. Oh, either way, I'm doing my best to get myself out of this, and I will reach out to you as soon as I can. Please don't worry about me. These guys. I'm convincing myself that I'm happy in my current circumstances, although you're constantly calling me out on it in my mind. I'm living a lie, but I need to do this to see what happens for myself. So I feel like that's maybe the reason that he stuck with it, is his pride got in the way, basically. But he also knows that you are the person that he wants to be with, and he is planning on getting out of there. My love, I have unwavering faith in us. In fact, I've never believed in anything like I believe in us. Please hold the space for this while I figure out how we can best build a future together. Will you marry me? Again, I've been seeing signs and synchronicities. He's constantly reminded of you. I've been living a double life. No joke. And need to make some major changes to live a more authentic life. By the time we talk next, I plan to be in a much better situation you can be proud of. So he's just not talking to you right now because he feels stupid, and he should feel stupid. Sometimes you need to feel stupid to get yourself out of a situation you put yourself in. And don't stay in a situation because of your pride. That's even more stupid than getting yourself in that situation in the first place, right? I'm going to shoot myself in the foot, and then I'll go ahead and shoot myself on the other foot because I'm so mad that I shot myself on the first foot. No, just, you have to get rid of your ego to be in a relationship properly anyway. You may as well start now. Throw the damn ego out the window and just make the right decision based on your heart for once, and not your head. Your head got you in this situation in the first place. Okay. So yes, she's forcing him somehow. Threatening. I feel threatening. If I could have just talked to him myself. I don't know if I could have made a difference, but probably not, because everything works out like it's supposed to. But I'll tell you what, though, by the time he gets to coming back around to you and admitting things to you and having that conversation, he's going to love himself a lot more. He's going to be, he's going to have a really good idea of what it feels like to not be loved. So he'll treat you better, Okay, number 2, if you're even going to be available, though, that's the thing. With all this threatening, that could go on for years. I don't know if I'd be waiting around for him. Number two, I also had two dreams in a row about him. I used to have dreams with him showing me how stuck he feels. This time is different. In the first dream, he asked me about something very intimate for him, and he was vulnerable, as if he was asking for acceptance. Acceptance or help? In second, I saw a wedding dress. He is not really saying much in the 3D, but all these messages in the 5D drive me crazy. I don't know what to do. Okay, so you're getting all these signs and things that actually things are improving and they're looking good. Oh, and I just sent you that one link to that one video. That's funny. We're doing all we can to help comfort and encourage you. We love you so much, Spirit is saying. Okay. Oh, I don't know what those ones are. Oh, that's the same deck as I've got right there. I thought those were Moonology cards, but they're not. Okay. For some reason, I feel like pulling some pet cards. I think it's going to be funny. No one is to blame. You just see what the advantages and benefits are from where you're at and go from there. This involves fear of death, but there really is no death except of the ego. The energy is just transformed, but it's still there. So these situations also come up for both the masculine and the feminine to bring up things that need healing. Healing is the ticket right now in our world. Healing is the ticket with everything. So whatever is going on for you, if it's upsetting or frustrating at all, do your healing around it. To make sure that you're staying on track. Okay, so they're also saying to do some forgiveness exercise, because you're giving your power away if you think that you need to hear back from him to have a solution or to have resolution with it. You don't. You just need to let yourself off the hook and go pursue another dream. You basically just got to give it away and give the angst away however you can, because sitting around waiting for an explanation from him or sitting there waiting for that heart-to-heart conversation that you may never have is not going to do you any bit of good. So if you really love yourself, then make sure to take adequate time to do proper forgiving, not letting him off the hook for what he did, but letting you off the hook for feeling the pain about it, Why do you doubt? The kingdom of God is within you. Simply walk through those gates and drop the rest and you'll be taken care of. In other words, staying present in the moment is where it's at. And that's going to keep you out of confusion. It's going to keep you out of suffering. And it's going to keep you healing. And it's going to keep you manifesting that which you deserve. So it's very beneficial and powerful to stay present in the moment. So that's the ticket, and that's what you need to be doing right now. Do that thing that stretches your faith. You won't be disappointed. That might have to do with your studio. That might have to do with pursuing those things that you're wanting to do. And we are protecting you from black magic or negative energy sent your way. Is the karmic sending it to her? I don't think that. So get that out of your head if that's one thing that you're thinking. She's not doing that. Just wanted you to be aware to sage or clean your home. So let me do a blissing right now. You know in your gut this isn't right. I don't know what that's pertaining to, but yeah. Well, maybe it's that you're thinking that she might be doing some kind of black magic. So that's just not true. You might be doing black magic on yourself by thinking she's doing black magic in a way, Okay. Natein saseshi ina haike na ombaan halake ina tainsa ha amaan. Let's see here. Hapamahama kins shenata ihin hapama amaanake. Yeah, they're trying to support and encourage you through this time. Not necessarily that you're even going to be with him, but these things are coming. He is healing. He is becoming stronger. He is getting into his power more all the time, but that could take time. But you being in the wedding dress has more to do with They're saying you marrying yourself, and keep turning inward and keep turning to loving and marrying yourself rather than needing to marry a guy or needing to be together with a guy. Like let the guys go. Let the guys go and just love yourself so much that you don't even have room for a guy in your life. You know? Just love yourself that much and drop this whole thing and just know that everything is working out in your favor somehow and somebody really awesome is coming into your life. Okay, number 3, I'd love to ask you for a med bed and directions if there's anything I need to heal in my sacral chakra. I feel like it's been under attack, see? Okay, so, okay. Hamat natain kai-san. She naan. Pama natain sa likrin. Ha he shin sa se. Hi, Emma. You need to work on victim mentality. I would do the thank you God for my misery exercise. That's a really good one for taking yourself out of victim mentality and getting yourself into like radical acceptance. Everything that you're going through right now is purposeful, and all of it is training you to be stronger and wiser and more mature. It's growing you, expanding you, and making you into like an impenetrable queen. So know that anything that is bringing you discomfort or taking you out of alignment needs to be corrected so that you keep coming back to that heartfelt space and empowerment. Don't let yourself flounder around out here. Bring yourself back with an affirmation or touching your heart and saying, I love you 100 times without counting, or all the different things I talk about, all the exercises that I offer, Byron Katie, thank you God for my misery, but don't just flounder around and just let yourself suffer like that, You got to catch yourself the minute you start going down some kind of a negative rabbit hole or quicksand, and immediately stop and give a lot of love to yourself and just love up on yourself so that you just bring yourself right back to clarity. Yeah. Not tight. It looks a lot better now. I know this is covered children's ears right now. They're not going to know what I'm talking about anyway. They're saying make love to yourself in a sensual way. They're saying like get your lingerie on, light the candles, like make it almost like ceremonial, or make it really, really special. Like you don't need a guy. You don't need a guy for that. You don't need a guy in your life. You can fix things yourself. You can just be autonomous, be totally autonomous, and give and have that same kind of love and passion for yourself and for your happiness as you do that true love of yours. And that will help him come around. Not that that's the goal, but what you do for yourself helps them to do for themselves. So give yourself what you want him to give himself. And that's what's going to help expedite the whole thing. Yeah. Okay. Okay, 3623. 2 months ago, you did a love reading for me and told me that a man who was pursuing me was my divine partner. He had all the signs you gave me, but at that time he had a karmic relationship. You said once he ended it, he would choose me and be attentive and loving. Since that reading, he's ended with his karmic, but he continued treating me rudely and ghosted me. I have no idea why. I'm going to stop right there. Then he started dating someone. Then he started dating someone. I know he says he's kind and attentive to her. He says that he's kind and attentive to her. I'm so confused. Why didn't he choose me, but also disgusted by him and now let him go completely? I don't want anyone like that in my life. The attraction for him completely left. Okay, good. Something about passing a test, like you passed a test somehow in that. Sometimes spirit tells you things so that you'll go a certain direction, so you'll learn a lesson. It's not always about the accuracy of a reading. It's that you're supposed to go that way because somebody told you to go that way, because you would follow it and you would go down that path and you would learn whatever that lesson is. So that's what it feels like may have happened in this case. But I'm going to feel into him. The reason they ghost you is not because they're rude. You have not gone through my True Love playlist. I would definitely go through YouTube, find the playlist that says all about true love, and then you got to watch the video that I always talk about watching, and it is the Divine Masculine's Ultimate Test. Watch that video. All of you who feel like some kind of a victim, that these masculines are ghosting you, you are not a victim, and the fact that you have a victim mentality about it means that you're not healed. You can't be a victim and be healed. You know, if you're making yourself out to be a victim, then that just means that you got to work on yourself. So you weren't ready for a relationship anyway, by the way that you're reacting. You know, it's not it. Ghosting is more about them feeling like they're not worthy of you. Now, I know that sounds like an excuse, like that one. What is that movie? What? I can't think of the title of the movie. But basically, it's true. It's just true. These guys, and when they don't feel worthy of you, they run from you, and they run right into a karmic, and they pretend that it's all good. So this is some of the things I talk about in the playlist that you got to go through to see some of this, because this is exactly why they go to karmics. Is to be so they'll be treated bad, and then so that they'll finally choose, to turn to love. Because if they go to anything other than you, if you are his true love, which I'm not sure, because yeah, the feminines are all about trying to understand and grow from the situation, and trying to see the most they can of themselves, and a reflection of themselves and their own self-growth. And they're much more mature than the masculine, at least through the separation phase, which is very intimidating for them. You've been through a lot of things that they're just now going through, and they haven't quite learned they haven't gotten to where you're at, basically. So they go with somebody who's easy because they know that's already going to fail, and they make it out like it's this wonderful relationship when it's not, and they just lie to like save face, or to look good, or to make it look like they know what they're doing, and they don't. It's really weird. But you're doing the right thing in the sense that you let go of it. That's what's important. That when somebody doesn't treat you the way you feel like you deserve to be treated, then you do move on. You do keep going. Whether they're your true love or not, it doesn't matter. Because eventually, if they show up in the right way, and they are good to you, and they do treat you right, and they do listen to you, and they do all those things that that you would love and appreciate and respect even about them, then great. But until they show up in that way, there's not, just waiting for them to change or wanting them to change isn't going to do you a darn bit of good. So it would behoove you to just go ahead and look into other options, because for the feminines, if you've been working on yourself, if you have been doing the healing work on yourself, then you are drawing in, through the law of attraction, a wonderful person for you. And the feminines have a lot of options. They may not know they have a lot of options, but they definitely do. The masculines, on the other hand, are like the opposite side of that. They have one option. They have their divine feminine that they find, and it's like the sperm with the egg. It's totally like that scenario. We're the egg, and they're the sperm, and there are many sperm trying to get to that egg. But what's funny is I read something about how that it's not the fastest sperm that gets there, but the egg that picks the sperm, that makes the sperm get to the egg and fertilize it. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, so definitely let him go. And let me ask why the shift happened, like why I thought that was going to happen and it didn't. Ha'amanatain kainsa. Sheila. Hipum puma on. Hang on a minute. I'm seeing something about you pushing him away and him feeling intimidated. How did you push him away, I wonder? Maybe trying to force it to happen, being pushy or trying to be demanding in some way or something. Was she pushy or demanding? Not really. Um, what did she do to push him away? I think you were just being yourself. I think he's just scared. Yeah, I see a little boy. I think he's just intimidated. Maybe he was imitating you and he didn't think he could hold that up. Like maybe he's trying to act like a better person than he is or something. And he was like, I can't keep this facade up. So I'm just going to go with somebody who's more like me, which is not true either. Because I bet that the good part of him is who he really is, but he's been afraid that that he's fooling himself or something like that. It's kind of weird. Okay, so not taken. So he okay. So they're reminding me of earlier on the Q&A. I was talking to somebody about how everything that somebody like me predicts happens, but not at the time you think it does. So probably all this still happens. It's just there was another karmic slipped in between. They just said yes. So somehow the same thing's going to happen with this one. And that's the thing with these masculines is they're just going to keep repeating the same cycle and going through the same types of people and burning through these karmics one after the other until they get a clue. That they're supposed to choose love and they're supposed to believe in themselves and they're supposed to believe that they can be happy. They're supposed to choose their happiness. And it just doesn't sound like he was ready to choose that yet. I'm going to pick some masculine cards. I cry myself to sleep and toss and turn over the separation. He's not being a jerk. He loves you. It's just that he says, I miss you so much. It's killing me not to reach out to you. I love you so much. I also know this just isn't the time for us to happen yet. So that just confirms what I just said. I don't trust this connection right now. Maybe it's what my friends have been saying. I'm just feeling skeptical. Am I imagining this? Am I delusional? Have you cast a spell on me? I hope it's real. So maybe some people had gotten in there and kind of planted a seed of doubt. Whatever he heard, though, it was fake news. Or as well, also, I think there's two parts. Whatever he heard was not true. It was a misunderstanding. He wasn't getting the whole story. But also whatever you just heard that hurt your feelings, which is that he's so happy with her and all that. That wasn't true. That was fake. And you're not getting the whole story. And he'll explain later. You are seriously, literally the answer to my prayers, my dream girl. Say you'll say yes if I ask. I'm so nervous because I'm seriously planning to propose or elope. Get ready. He may just make an about face and surprise the hell out of you. He may just come out of nowhere and ditch that person and come to you. He also is afraid that you don't like him for who he really is. Like he's catfishing you. And then once you know who he really is, like that dark side, oh, she doesn't know my shadow side. She doesn't know that, he's thinking he's being a hypocrite. So he's afraid to show you his true colors. See, you are pushing me away, trying to control this and us. Please give me space right now so I can be sure my decisions are based on what I truly want at my core and not because you're pressuring me. So maybe it's pressure you were doing. He's also trying to take a break right now from everyone and everything so that he can get refreshed and renewed. I wish you knew just how special you are to me. It's killing me not to be able to tell you. Again, killing thing. That's weird. You amaze me with your compassion and kindness through this time apart. I promise I'll make it up to you. I know you're my true love. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. I also know once I reach out, the ball's going to start rolling. So I just need to make sure I'm good and ready. He still wants to be with you. Still wants to be with you. He still wants all that stuff. He still wants to treat you right and all that. He's just not ready. He's just another karmic slipped in there because he just wasn't ready yet. Um, uh, 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 um. Okay, so, and just you being a divine feminine, having attracted that one, yeah, you definitely have another love coming through, for sure. So, and that would be another good question to ask. Who do I have coming through in my future? Um, yeah, because I do feel like this guy that you're talking about right now, he could definitely come back around. I think within the next, I'm not even going to give a timeline. I'm not going to do a timeline. But soon, fairly soon. I feel like he could do an about face in that relationship. And if he doesn't, that's his lesson. That's his lesson. And you just keep moving on, just keep moving forward and looking at other options. Okay. I'm going to put these away. All right, 3625. Okay, what does my DM daydream about me? She's got 2 questions. So that one and then a med bed. Okay, so, first thing I'm seeing is him holding your hand. He must love the way that your hand feels in his. And I know you guys have held hands before, or I assume so. Otherwise, he's daydreaming about what that would be like, but I think he's felt you before. Something about soft, dainty, like he just loves the way your hands feel. Your hand feels. Oh, okay. I just got a sexually explicit image with your hand on something of his. Oh, um, can we not go there, please? Please. Thank you. Okay. What else does he daydream about? Can we please make this PG? Thank you. All right. Okay, so now he's showing me like making out in the back seat of a car. This isn't helping. She doesn't feel like you value her right now. Telling me things like I know, okay. This is like taking me back to an Instagram post that I just made about how masculines make it about sexuality. That's how they feel comfortable expressing their love. If they're still immature in their expression of love, right? So it just means that he feels immature. He just feels like he doesn't know what else to do because he doesn't have any better way to express it. That's how he shows his love. And the feminines, like, if a woman is overtly sexual like that, if a woman like comes onto a man, like, wears these, skimpy clothes and shows her, booty off and shows her breasts off, and like, if she's all real showy, making it all sexual, then she is someone who's going to manipulate the shit out of a guy. She is gonna like run him through the ringer. Like, ain't nothing good about somebody who acts overtly sexual like that. That's a manipulator, big time. So when she sees him being so overtly sexual, it feels like a trick because that's how women operate, or like, maybe just feminines instead of masculines or whatever. Not a gender thing, maybe, but yeah. So it's like a red flag. So, so the guys listening to this, if it'd be better if you could try to, and I'm talking to your man's higher self right now, it'd be better if you could try to do the mature thing and just tell her how much you miss her and you love her. That's not that vulnerable of a thing. I miss you and I love you and I think about you all the time. It drives me crazy. The driving me crazy part kind of insinuates sexuality, but it's not like throwing it in her face. So, they said tone it down. They said tone it down, you guys, when it comes to sexuality. Like, And like, it's not a compliment to ask what a woman is wearing, or to ask them to send a nude pic or something like that, or to send a dick pic. Lord, none of that is anything anybody wants for the long term. That is not the kind of person that you want to be with, is somebody who would be like, let me, or what are you wearing right now? You know, unless you guys are in a committed relationship and there are certain things that turn them on about certain things that you wear, and they just want to picture that for a moment. But if you know, if you guys are just getting to know each other and stuff, those are huge turnoffs for anybody who is looking for anything serious. So, um, and so I say, hey, La Kane. He goes, okay, well, in that case, I do imagine her being my wife, and her, like, you know, us talking in the kitchen on the weekends, like lounging around watching things. And see, he's opening up. He feels like a teenager right now. He feels like so much looser. It's almost like the sexuality was a way he was hiding. And when I took that out of the equation and just told him, you don't want to do this. You don't want to, this is no. And all of a sudden now he's like, oh, well, I like this and I like that. And I was thinking maybe I could watch a movie with her, and then we could go to the park. And then, oh, and I've thought of like playing cards with her and how fun she is and how we would laugh and this. And maybe if we went to like, it's like he's thinking of all these different scenarios that he goes through on a regular basis with his friends and whatnot, and how you would accentuate or make those situations even better. Like, you would be the sprinkles on top of the ice cream, on top of the whipped cream. Like, you would really accentuate every area of his life, and he fantasizes about all of that a lot. He also thinks about how you could be there for him, and how you would really kind of calm him down if he was going through something. He feels like you would offer some really good sound advice in an unbiased way, where you would just totally support him unconditionally. And he loves that. Um, Stop. He's like, then he goes, Mommy. He really does do this, doesn't he? He just keeps bringing it back to sex. Stop it. That's just a habit you'll have to break. Okay, you got to grow up here. You got to grow up. All right. What else? What else do you fantasize about? What else do you daydream about her? I do have some cards. I don't want to go get them. I don't want to go get them. No, they're not around. Okay, what else? Oh, okay. Vacations, traveling, going places, staying in a cabin, getting away from it all. He just said, getting away from it all. Just being away for like a good month or two and doing nothing out in the middle of nowhere. Now that would be a good reset. This is so weird. Okay, this is so interesting. Cover your ears if any children are around. Like, don't be listening to this. It's almost as if you guys need to go to a cabin for like a couple months and have so much sex that you can't have it anymore. Like, you're just too tired. Like, you know, 5, 10 times a day. Get it over with for several weeks. Just have like a marathon. And it's almost like it would burn him out. Like, he'd finally be done with it. Like, there would be this maturity would rise up in him. They would be like, okay, now that we've gotten all that out of the way, let's have some nice conversation. Let's sit on the front porch and talk about life and what's important to us and what moves us, what inspires us. It feels like that would get a lot of that out of the way. It's like he's just got like some pent up sexual energy he needs to get out. So maybe you guys will need to do that at some point. I don't know. Or maybe he you know, you just got to let him like burn it off for a while when you're first together. I don't know what you'll want to do that with that information, but that's what it kind of feels like. It would burn out. Um, but you want it to burn out in such a way that, you know, you don't want to burn through it and then have him feel like he doesn't have any more passion for you either. He just said, "Yeah, that wouldn't happen. That wouldn't happen." Okay. So maybe just let him, you know, play this sexual energy out when you guys are finally together, obviously in a committed relationship. You know, let it burn out at first, and then start having some good conversations. It's almost has a feel of like when you guys have had a lot of bad stuff that's happened between you and a lot of things are like really hurtful, there's resentment and stuff like that. Sometimes the best thing you want to do is have a sense of humor and laugh a lot and have like lighthearted conversations at first. And then once they've warmed up, then you start talking about the deeper stuff. That's kind of what it feels like. It's like you guys might just have to have sex a lot for a while, and then you get down to the nuts and bolts, and then you get down to the more serious subjects and the more like because it's almost like it's going to build up trust in him to have sex that frequently. I don't know why, but it's like it'll help him trust the situation better. This is all very strange information. And maybe this pertains to quite a few of you. I don't know. Just the way that they operate, if they've grown up a certain way or if they've had certain ideals or something. Yeah. Don't push away. Don't reject or push him away. Huh, how interesting. Okay. Mini med bed. All right. I'm trying to balance out that energy we were just talking about. Ma'anatein sase shina haike. Hupum pama hala ense. Shina haike impem pama ona I hala papana. Tataike sase. I natain sase in la ana on. Pim papana chanke in. You guys are already going through some kind of a merging. I see you guys like kind of coming together already. We talked about like him jumping off a diving board, being willing to jump into his feelings and emotions more. Maybe swimming around in them and seeing how good he feels. Like if you could have felt what I felt when I was talking about the sexual energy, it was like, ha, 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 like making jokes about everything all the time to avoid the discomfort. But like, if you would have felt that energy, switch over to the energy where he was like, oh, and we can go to the park and then we can do this. And I have pictured her being my wife in the kitchen. And when he started doing that, oh my gosh, it felt like the real him. It felt much more authentic. It felt like the him that he's always wanted to be, like his free expression. So we just talked about that, and he seems much more willing now to go to that place. So I would say that when he does dare to go to that more emotional place, I would focus on listening and validating his feelings more than anything, because he needs to feel safe coming to you about these things. I wouldn't argue his ideas. I wouldn't even tell your ideas unless he asks. Maybe you can just listen. I have a really good video on that if you want to look for it. It's in my Talks About Life playlist. Just put in listen, the word, my name and the word listen, and the video should come up. And it's a bunch of things that I learned in a customer service class that ended up being absolutely invaluable for the rest of my life. He knows that you're calling him up to another level in life, and he's super grateful. It's just he's kind of, just amping up and getting ready for it. Oh, I feel like picking a couple of ghoster cards here. You're pushing me away, trying to control this. That's not the first time I've gotten this card for you. Give him lots of space. Don't bug him. I don't think you are bugging him. Maybe he's feeling it, and like intuitively, maybe he's tuned into you, just leaning in. Like, are you gonna do something? Are you gonna do something? Maybe just drop that kind of energy. Be happy. Just be happy. Live your life and be happy without him, and just like kind of mind your own business in a way, and just drop it. Yeah, and don't think about. I mean, it's hard not to think about him, but just try to focus more on your own life. Try to drop it as best you can, honestly. The union will come faster the more you could just completely drop it and let it go, because then it allows them the space to step into to come to you. You've done nothing wrong. I'm just figuring things out. I love you. I want you. I'm coming for you. Please be a bit more patient with me and I'll make this up to you. Okay. So he's asking for patience twice there, right? I'm so ashamed and embarrassed. I can't bear to look you in the eyes and tell you everything. I can't stand the thought of making you cry. Just let me build up the courage to confront this. I'm still trying to get over my ex and related wounds. Please give me the space while I heal and know that once I lick my wounds, I'll come to you properly healed. I've really been through the ringer. So it could be that he's just learning more about women and how they think and what they, all of the sensitivities that he has, triggers that he has. He doesn't want to take things out on you. They almost want to become like perfect before they'll be with their true love, which is unreasonable because you guys are there to learn and grow together. But, it's an insecurity of theirs. They have to be at some level before they can be with you. But he'll get over that. I'm planning a big surprise for you to make up for everything I put you through. Thank God. How do I make this right? Masculines watching this, all you have to do is come to her and say, how do I make this right? What can I do to make this up to you? Period. That's it. That's as simple as it is. Just ask, what can I do? Is there any way that I can make this up to you? And I don't care what I have to do. Yeah, he had chosen to date somebody else. So he wanted to see, he wanted to find, I feel like he wanted to compare you to the other person, to everything, just to make sure he's making like the right decision and to know that he, isn't being coerced into something. So there's something pushy about what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing, but something pushy about it. Maybe you've called him your true love or something, and maybe that in itself is like kind of off-putting for him. Like, we have to be together? Don't I have a choice in the matter? Something about that. Something about his ego, like pushing against it. Will you please send me messages on social media to still let me know that you're thinking of me? He's going through something difficult right now. Still trying to get over the ex. So, or related wounds. So I just feel like he's just sensitive. He's sensitive right now and kind of scared to get hurt. Yeah, he's wanting to have sex. If you haven't been with someone in a long time, you may want to get your body ready for a change. Just saying. Just because I love being intimate with you doesn't mean I'm using you or being a player. It's just my most comfortable way of showing you my love for you without words. Well, there you go. There you go. One more. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. I know this must bother you, but I plan to include you in my life and take this to the next level as soon as I can. Please just trust me and give me some more time. So it just feels like he's growing up. He's maturing and he's growing up and he's learning some life lessons that are invaluable. Didn't I say I was going to get some pet card? I don't remember if that was you or somebody before you, but I'd like a good challenge, some mental stimulation, but something safe, of course. Okay. I think a pet who's living with us or who lives with someone close to us needs a new home, don't you think? That's funny. I wonder what that's about. When you're gone away from home, I can actually see what you're experiencing. See, he's in tune with you intuitively through your eyes. I love seeing your life is like, what your life is like. Do you feel me when I do that? Or when I do that? So that's interesting. He can sense, oh my gosh, and your intuition is right on about me. You're tuning into me telepathically, and I love how in tune we are. So maybe that pushiness is coming from you, intuitively telling him, come to me, come to me, come to me. And he's like, no, stop it. I'm not ready yet. I have some lessons to learn. I have some wounds to lick. So just respect him and kind of mind your own business for now and do your own healing. And it will expedite things. It will expedite things. Okay, that's it for today, guys. If you want me to answer a question for you, just go to amysatori.com/Ask Amy, or go to amysatori.com and click on Ask Amy. And I will get you in on the next premiere next week, next Thursday, at the same time this was. Okay, and details are always underneath my videos as well. Okay, let's do your general blessing. So whatever you have an intention for, as long as it's for the good of everybody involved and includes everybody's free will in the situation, and is for everyone's highest good, then we will amplify it right now. Hama na tain sa se halaki na taishina he pepim pumum ona hala eken sa se he la shinkipim pum pum ona hala ena taiken sa se she la on pum puma na e halaki en sa se shikina pon and pempe la ki ena anse o pum ona ai hala puma chikin sa se he eke na tai. If it isn't peaceful, it's not in my life. Take a really good look at things that are peaceful. If it's not bringing peace to you, then don't have it. Don't have it anymore. Or if it's not supporting you in an authentic way. So I feel like pulling some spirit cards real quick. You have nothing to fear but the thoughts you're entertaining. And that's always the case. You have a voice and a heart that wants to use it, so set it free. Maybe it's time for you to work on that project or get your YouTube channel going or write your book or, make that audio series or whatever you've been thinking of. Or sing. Make that song. When spirit talks, it's time to take action. See, you got to listen to those promptings. Train yourself to pay attention to those nudges and act quickly. Your ego will try to say, no, I'm not ready, or no, I'm not qualified, or no, I don't have that certificate. I haven't taken that class, and blah, 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 blah. Don't listen to any of that stuff. Just do it. Just do it. If you're being prompted to do it, at least take a step in that direction. Start taking that class. Start reading that book if you have to, but take some kind of an action on it going forward, whatever you feel like the action is, you're being pushed to. We wish you could see you like we see you. You're breathtaking from here. I love that one. Okay. And they said you need to believe in yourself. Affirm that you have all that you need, and it will be so. Don't listen to other people. Go with what you want, and it'll all fall into place and will be best for everybody. Okay? Oh, Mary Magdalene wants to say something too. What do you want to say, Mary? Family. Okay, what's family say? You were born into your family for a reason and a purpose, just as there is a reason and purpose for experiencing all you've experienced to date. Yet, like most of us, you probably believe the myth that all family members should all get along and always be nice to each other. Other families always seem nicer. The truth is that every family experiences similar dynamics in one way or another. Your family is your greatest teacher. Every family member will hold at least one trait that you don't like, and you have at least one trait that each of your family members don't like. This fact sets the perfect environment for us to learn to love unconditionally. And I feel like this is talking about our entire family, like the whole world, every one of us, everybody that we interact with. Later in life, you will discover that every perceived negative comes with a positive attached to it. True love often comes in ways and forms that we initially fail to recognize. Yet with the passing of time, you will realize that beneath our individual facades, there is only love. Love comes in many forms, and it may not always be kind. reflect on this, for it will help you let go of any resentment you have towards your family, or a family member in particular, or anyone out in the world that you feel that kind of negativity towards. Okay, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this Q&A this week. Have a beautiful weekend. I send you a big hug, and I will talk to you soon.